And welcome to GMTV, show number 11111111. Welcome to show 111, show 111. Yay! I don't know. Like Bill Noman said last week, it's crazy after like 50. 88 was crazy. 100 was crazy. 111. Here we go into the summer. And with no further ado, Bill Noman. How you doing?
Good. Every once in a while, I tell people who are not, they're not initiated into the Jam TV world, and I tell them I have like this virtual thing I have to do tonight, so I got to do, I can't do this, and then they sort of ask a couple questions. I say, yeah, it's been going on for like 110 weeks or something like this, and every time you say it, it just seems wacky, like it's a long time.
The longest commitment I've ever had.
Well, I just finished 30 years of marriage, so I can't say that. But
there you go. You finished it. It's over.
The greatest 2 years of my life. No,
I don't have a drink, by the way. It's a roll of tape. It's a prop. So, how's it going? How's it going? What have you been up to?
I've been very busy. That little. This is my. I'm gonna have to.
Jam TV. How can I direct your call?
Do I really bag my daughter for?
Bring her on the show. If she wants to talk to you at 7:30.
I'm on the music thing. Do I know the what?
Professional television. Oh my God.
No. It might be like, I don't know. 242. Try 2424, but I don't know.
What's happening on Jam TV? It's
right.
For you.
I can call you back in like a half an hour. Does that help you? Okay. Love you. Bye. That's parenting, kids.
That's the best bit I've ever seen on GMTV.
That's how it's done. She wanted like, hitting me up like in the spur of the moment for the AT&T PIN number because she's going to France and she wants to buy an international plan. And it's like the idea that I would have that like at the top of my head.
You don't have all the same PIN number. Like I haven't had the same PIN number on everything for years.
I did too for years. And I had the same password on a million things too. And now, and I mean, isn't it weird? So I write down my passwords. They're on a document that comes out of, InDesign or something, or Word,
right?
And at the moment that you create that document, isn't it like out there floating then sort of?
Oh yeah, it's in iCloud. It's getting scraped by every hacker in North Korea.
It's like, the guy.
I
drove a guy to the airport once his job was security, he was in net security. And
yeah, right.
And I was driving him in his car to the airport, and we come to a toll, and I go, do you have Easy Pass? And he goes, no, man, I'm staying off the grid. And I'm going like, how's that cell phone working for you? Pretty good.
Right. I saw this chick on Facebook the other. It was one of these memes that a reel. Now it's called a reel. It was a reel, and it said, and she said there was an interview, and the interviewer said, how do you feel about your password security? The girl says, great. She says, well, what do you use for your password security? She says, well, I have my pet's name, and it's the year I graduated college. She goes, oh my God, where did you go to college? She goes, university and such and such. She goes, wow, what was your major? It was English. What year did you graduate? Like 1994, right? And so is your pet. What's your pet's name? And she goes, it's Fluffy, right? So
right. No, it's It's just I believe much, when I go away, I always lock the door. Do I think that in some way has flummoxed like anybody who wants to get in. If they want to get in, they can get in. It's
if
like
they want to get in, they're showing up with dynamite or a crowbar or something good, you know, they're
or a
in.
glass cutter, a little simple thing that gets a latch and they're in, and there you go.
They're in.
You know,
There was a television show like 10 or 15 years ago, and I don't remember what it was called, but it was like, I don't watch this kind of show, but this show was great, right? So here's some setup, right? You've got a producer and a director, and they're driving around in a fancy car, and in the back seat of the car, so the camera's up on the dashboard, and it's like the shot with you and me, and then behind them, right here, right, is a scruffy looking guy, and he is a convicted burglar, right? And he spent like 5 years in prison for burglary, like for the third time, right? They got him, right? And so they drive around neighborhood and they're casing the neighborhood. They're like, the burglar, they go, what do you think about that house? So he goes, nah, they got a dog. It's too much trouble. What are they go to the next house. Oh yeah, no, you see that wire? He's got that AD, whatever it is. And no, it's not trouble. And those locks are hard or whatever. And he goes, what about that house? Right? It looks like, they got a fancy car and they got whatever. And it doesn't look like they're home a lot. And yeah, right. And like he's saying all kinds of burglar stuff.
Yeah.
So then what they do is they drive up to the house and they get out of the car and they walk up to the front door of the house and they go, right? And the person comes to the door. They go, hi. They go, well, we're the producer director of a television show. This is Bob. He's a convicted burglar. And we would like to have you on our show. And you can like beef up your home security, whatever you want to do. But sometime in the next 30 days, we are going to come and rob your house. Right.
That's fun. That's fun.
And of course we will give everything back. We're going to film the whole thing. We won't break anything. And we'll give you a $10,000 security makeover, security system and window locks and all this. Person's like, great. That sounds great. So then what they do is sometime 3 weeks later, they come back to the house and the guy walks up to the house and in 10 seconds, he's in the house. Right, like he's in the house. Yeah. He's like, oh, they locked the door. Oh, look at that. They put him boop, and he's in. Right, like 1, 2, 3, he's in the house, and they follow him around with a camera. He goes to the front door. The cameraman like comes in, follows him around, and he walks into like the bedroom, and he's looking around for like the valuables, and he's like, And he walks into the closet, and he goes, Oh, and I forgot the best part. They make the people watch him robbing the house. Right, so they're in the like a little window right here.
They see it,
right? So they're watching it, right? And she turns to the husband and she goes, "He'll never find it. It's in the hat box behind the first hat box." Right? The guy walks in and he goes, "Hat box." He takes it down. He doesn't even look at it. He grabs the second hat box. There it is, the jewelry. She's like, "How did he know that?" He goes to the microwave. There's money. He goes to the thing, the envelope in the in the magazine. Boom! Like he completely finds all their stuff, right? And they're like, oh my God, we thought we were so good at what we do,
Nah, it's when I lived in New York and when I had my car in New York and I was working freelance, so I could do the alternate street parking stuff, which is it's a social thing for people who live in New York, odds and evens and everybody's happy and they're having fun and all this stuff. And it got to the point where I just stopped locking my car. I just didn't lock it because I would rather have somebody, go in there and spend the night than have somebody, break the little $90 window, which the New York guys would break the $90 window. In Connecticut, they freaking, they pound the, they're just not professionals, But in New York, we're just the little 90, it's just under your deductible, but it's not like it's not a big thing. And they're in.
That's right.
There they go, and then they realize, you took your radio out in those days, and that's that.
A radio? What's a radio? Is that like Spotify? All right, play a song that would be on the radio.
Well, I'm not sure if any of these would be on the radio so much, but this is I'm doing an homage, if you will, if I don't choke to death. I'm doing an homage to Bob Dylan, who had an 81st birthday this week. So
yes, he did.
Everything I do, whatever I will be allowed to do, assuming I can get this voice out of my head. We'll see what, maybe this adds something. I don't know.
Assuming you get the voices out of your head. Go for
it. You must leave Take what you need, you think will last. I think it's an improvement. Whatever you wish to keep, you better grab it fast. Well, he understands the orphan with his gun, crying like a fire in the sun. Well, look out, all those saints are coming through. Oh, and it's all over now, baby blue. Whoa, the highway is for gamblers. You better use your sense. Take what you have gathered from coincidence. The empty-handed painter from your street is drawing crazy patterns on your sheets. The sky too is falling under you. Oh, and it's all over now, baby blue. Whoa, all those seasick sailors, they are all rowing home. And all your empty-handed armies, they are going home. The lover who has just walked out your door, taking all your blankets from the floor. Whoa, the carpet too is moving under you. Whoa, it's all over now, baby blue. Leave your stepping stones behind. There's something that calls for you. Forget about the dead you left behind. They will not follow you. The vagabond who's rapping at your door is standing in the clothes that you once wore. So strike another match, let's start anew. Whoa, it's all over now, baby blue. Strike another match, let's start anew. Oh, and it's all over now, baby blue.
Very nice. Great song.
Yes, it's one that I play quite often.
That's not Bob Dylan, is it?
It could be. I think it is.
You do it so much better than Bob Dylan. Oh my God.
Oh.
No, you do. That's not even a compliment. I just hate the way he
Duly
sings.
noted and taken as such.
I just hate the way he sings. Like, Eric Rabaski used to do that. He used to come to the jam and he played this like delightful song. And he'd get to the end of the song, he'd be like, that was Bob Dylan. I'm like, no, right? I once saw Bob Dylan. It was the Oscars, right? and they are like, and the nominees for best song in a motion picture are, and they like this guy, Randy Newman and Prince and whatever, like amazing guys. And then they go, and Bob Dylan, right? And then they go, before we open the envelope, we're going to take you to see, and I didn't catch who it was. And they cut to like a remote location where he's on tour and he's like on a stage and he does a thing. And I'm like, who the are these people? They're awful. This is the worst band I've ever seen, ever. And then at the end of it, he accepts the award for best motion picture soundtrack. And I'm like, no. Anyway,
I wonder what that. I mean, maybe
I'm not a fan. It's me, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, like Tom Waits, it's me. I know.
To me, I can't. I'm not here to convince anybody of anything, but I do think almost. I mean, he's up in my world. He's up there with anybody, and but truly, he's probably the most. Every great songwriter gets interpreted, but I would say that Dylan's had as many kind of interesting interpretations and things that sort of take it out of the Dylanishness of it sometimes.
Right. The songwriting is great. You can't.
But it is like Tom Waits is a great case in point, because honestly, his music is so beautiful and so sophisticated and so interesting, and yet, some people can't get by his voice. And to me, it's like I don't know. I mean, there are some songs of his that I do like the covers of, maybe better than his. But I mean, to me, it's like Beatles are pretty good, but I absolutely think that Joe Cocker's "With a Little Help from My Friends" is better than theirs.
Wow, that's strong.
By the way, but it's a cover. It's a cover, but it's a really well interpreted new twist on it.
Yes, it is. So speaking of being misinterpreted, Randy Stone.
Yeah, misunderstood.
No,
You've been misinterpreted, and now Mr. Interpreted is here.
I am perpetually misunderstood.
How you doing, Randy?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
We're good.
Cool. I love that song, Bill. That was really good.
Thank you. It's a great song.
So what is that behind you? Is that like a shelf full of coasters? Like you buy like somebody's album and it comes with that?
You mean those?
That silver coaster that you can put your drink on? Is that
what those things?
Yeah. Yeah, they're coasters, right? They're like miniature albums that don't really work.
What are we going to do with our CD collections, by the way?
I'm trying to sell mine.
Like, I don't think they're going to come back.
What?
There, he's back.
I don't think they're going to come back the way vinyl came back. I think they're fucked.
No. Well,
8-tracks, on the other hand. Listen. There's a Panasonic 8-track player that was you guys will remember that it's square and it's plastic and it came in bright colors and it's got a little silver shaft and it looks like a thing you blow a bomb up with. And it was a Panasonic 8-track player, and they were like $69, and they were awful. And thank God they never came back. Now they're $1,000 on eBay.
I can go one worse. I think it was the only 8-track recorder to buy blank 8-tracks, and it was by, of course, Realistic.
No.
The fucking Radio Shack brand. Radio Shack. And I could make my own 8-tracks. I was like the bomb to all the other 15-year-old nerds.
Oh my God. Elwood and the Blues Patrol. He had an 8-track player, like a really ugly with wood veneer and whatever. And he had like I don't remember what the record was. It was like an old blues 8-track. And he would on breaks, he would put it on a stool with a spotlight on it with a microphone, and that was the break music, right?
Oh God,
brilliant,
funny.
But I love that Dylan song. That's one of my favorite Dylan songs. Hey,
break music.
What's up, everyone?
How you doing?
Good.
Happy birthday week, right?
Thank you.
I don't know how I feel about the sun being out while Jam TV is on. It's like
I know it's right. We already see it in there.
Yeah,
I see it.
Everybody needs to have blackout shades for Jam TV.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We need to wear glasses so people can't tell it.
Doesn't exist on Jam TV.
That's right. Ooh, natural sunlight.
Yeah.
I'm melting.
So, you guys want to hear a story? Did anyone ever hear the story of when Ed Train looked directly at the solar eclipse?
Yeah, exactly. Like, ah!
True
He
story.
was spending the weekend at
No.
Mar-a-Lago.
Do tell though.
We were at when I was working at Waveney, we did a little like hippie Woodstock party.
Wait, was that a true story? I don't remember
yes,
that.
it's a true story.
You and Donald Trump apparently. Please go on.
Exactly.
I thought it was
At
a setup for a
Mar-a-Lago.
joke.
I have pictures of it somewhere. I
Wow.
just find it. But I had we had like when we were at Waveney, we had this party
Right.
for like it was like Woodstock. It was the beginning of August, right? We had some like hippie Woodstock party or whatever.
Right.
Ed DJ'd it, and it was right around the time that the peak of the solar eclipse was happening. So everybody was taking turns going outside, and we had bought in some of those cheap glasses, like the one Randy's wearing.
The one you're going to go blind if you look at the solar eclipse with. Yeah.
We got the cheap glasses, so you could
Even
look at
Devo
it.
wouldn't wear them. Yeah. Go
But
ahead.
Ed looked directly up without wearing the glasses,
I
and
don't
which
remember.
is probably now why he's wearing glasses.
I know better than that, but yeah.
Ed is a skeptic, you know.
But Ed came
I
back
have to have
in.
my cornea burned to.
He went outside for a little bit, came back inside, and he goes, "I just looked directly at the solar eclipse." He's like, "Don't do that."
Yeah, that's really funny. I have no recollection. It was like Men in Black. They're like, bloop,
Yeah.
I have no recollection.
No,
of
I
it.
gotta find it. I have a picture of it somewhere.
Do we also tell Ed about that myth of you putting your tongue to a frozen
Yes.
hole in the wintertime? And
You know what's funny? I went to the Christmas Story Museum in Cleveland, and so the way they did that was they had a vacuum tube in the pole, cut out
It's
a
a
hole
hole
like-
with a vacuum, so the tongue sticks to the vacuum. Yeah.
Easy.
yeah, so he
Easy.
was pulling his head back and stuff. Yeah.
Step away from the microphone. Yeah.
Cleveland is the coolest town.
Is it?
I have never been to Cleveland. Tell me
It
about
apparently
Cleveland.
rocks, according to Ian
Cleveland,
Hunter.
I've spent some time there. I went out there on some projects trying to do a promotional thing with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it was going swimmingly well until the person at Pepsi who was working with us got promoted, and then of course we got killed because you never inherit somebody else's program, you get killed. But it allowed me to spend a lot of time in Cleveland, and then I went out there again recently to do a gig, actually, and it is the coolest town. It's it's not, it's so
It's underrated.
it's so like it's so confident in like a small town way. It's like happy to be Cleveland. Like Cleveland is okay being Cleveland, and it's not the mistake on the lake anymore, and it's not all that stuff.
Right.
And I happened to be there on the opening day of the Cleveland Guardians, is that's what they're called now? But they were called the Indians then.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
and I have never seen, like, have you ever seen the movie Major League, which is about like the Cleveland Indians and winning a pennant, which seems unlikely. It's on opening day. Every walk of life, every human being from every strata of every corner of society, they were all on the same page. They were like, "Go Indians." And you would see people walk down the street and you'd see the stockbroker looking to the homeless guy and they're both like, "Go Tribe," and it was like, it was just, and you'd go to bars and it's like, I don't know whether this is black, white, or what it is, but like every bar just seemed like so, unassuming and fun. And like, I really love the place, and the lake is pretty, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, despite the voting stuff, it's a very fun place to go.
Stands in stark contrast to Cincinnati.
I have an aunt and uncle who
The Queen City?
Cincinnati, I spent a lot of time there. I worked for a company headquartered there. Maybe it's changed. Kind of doubt it. It was really uptight and repressed.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Lot of Jesus going on there.
Yeah.
No, Cincy.
Oh, Cincinnati. Yeah.
Yeah. We used to
All right,
call
you
it-
ready for this? You ready for this? All right.
A lot
This
of
is-
bratwurst going on in Cleveland,
That's a setup for a joke, guaranteed. All right. You remember there were the two bullies in Christmas Story, speaking of the flagpole?
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
were the two bullies. There was like that Swedish guy,
Yeah.
like the Swede or whatever they called him. And then there was the little guy with the hat, right?
I
And they
forgot
were
his
like,
name. Yeah.
and they were like the bullies, right? So Christmas Story came out when, roughly mid 80s?
About there.
Sounds right.
About mid 80s. All right. In the early 80s, I took a photo with my friend Dave at Kent School, and here are the two photos. Our photo was taken several years before Christmas Story came out.
Wow. Oh,
I was the Swede. And he was
oh.
the other. We had no idea. They copied us, obviously. What's that?
I forgot the kid. Farkas? Scott Farkas, Dave said.
There it is. Can you
That's
believe that?
pretty-
You look
The
very
stage,
menacing.
everything.
That
my
is
God.
hilarious.
That's pretty hilarious. Yeah.
If I pursued law like I should have, I would be litigating this for you somehow.
There you go. Exactly. All right, my idea. At least that shot was.
I think they copied your photo.
That's true. All right, Bill Nolan, do another song. We know you have to go. You'll
Well,
explain.
I found out that they're in LaGuardia, which helps a little. So,
Oh, okay.
All
right. Well, then you have 5 extra minutes. So do a
no,
song for us. And
between
we'll
that
talk
and
about
Kennedy, it's
why.
more. Anyway, here's another song by Robert Zimmerman of Hibbing, Minnesota. Okay. I've seen love go by the door, never been this close before. Never been so easy, oh, it's so slow. Been shooting in the dark too long. When something's not right, you know it's wrong. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Purple clover, queen and lace, crimson hair across your face. You can make me cry, but you don't know. Can't remember what I'm thinking of. You might be spoiling me with love. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Dragging clouds so high above, I have only known careless love. Always hit me way from down below. This time round it's more correct, right on target, so direct. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Flowers on the hillside blooming crazy, crickets talking back and forth in rhyme. Blue river running slow and lazy. I could stay with you forever and never realize the time. Situations have ended sad, reputations have been bad. Might have been like Verlaine's and Rimbaud's. There's no way I can compare all them scenes to this affair. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. You're gonna make me wonder what I'm doing, staying far behind without you. You're gonna make me wonder what I'm saying. You're gonna make me give myself a good talking to. I look for you in Honolulu, San Francisco, and Ashtabula. You're gonna have to leave me now, I know. I'll see you in the sky above, in the tall grass and ones I love. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go.
Very nice.
That was really good. That was really good. Probably my favorite Dylan album too.
A great song, great album.
Absolutely. Well done. Well done. So his songs, man, I don't know. It's a lot of words to get out in his songs, isn't it?
Well, I wonder sometimes, how does he do it? And I mean, I know there are prompters and stuff, but the guy's 81 right now. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, he only has a couple of songs that have repetitive choruses on them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Most of them are like unique choruses, other than like a Rolling Stone, or there's a few that are like that. But
I only saw him once. It was the Rolling Thunder Review.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's 75 at New Haven Coliseum. Roger McGuinn, Joan Baez,
Ronnie Blakely.
I met her. And I met Springsteen at this show, and I met Mick Ronson. I know. I was seriously Allen Ginsberg, and he did a version of Isis that was just spellbinding. But speaking of a novel of lyrics, like Jesus Christ, it's somewhere out there. There's a documentary of the tour. It's the one where he was in whiteface. with like a
Oh, yeah,
fedora
yeah,
on
yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
Yeah, a little tear and a little.
The band was just kicking. It was really good.
Yeah. And then there's Ed Train's take on it. And Sherry, where do you stand on the Bob Dylan thing?
listen to him. He drives me crazy. Oh my God.
I don't know. All I know is that he's Jewish. I wasn't invited to his bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
It's a mitzvah. You know.
You know,
How does it feel?
yeah, how does it feel to be on
I
your
just
own?
can't believe that Bob Dylan one day walked into like a producer's office and said, "Here, listen to me sing. I want to record." And the producer was like, "Yeah, that's
Listen
great."
to her.
John Hammond, and he was spellbound. He was spellbound. He only discovered like Billie Holiday. So you know.
Yeah, I mean John Hammond Sr. was one of the great, and also a guy that got sort of ripped off a little by Clive Davis, who took a couple of credits that were really John Hammond's. But his son is one of the greatest musicians around, John Hammond Jr., who like he was a guy that all these guys in the folk world, like Sherry, like I'm like believe it or not, I'm a hair too young for something in this life, and it was like going to the folk scene in New York, and
Right.
it's a bit like what is it, Llewellyn Davis, whatever that movie was. It's about the folk guy who was basically
yeah.
kind of like, and it was Oscar Isaacs was the folk singer, and there was actually some really good music in it because I think T-Bone Burnett did the music for it.
That's a great
But
movie.
it's like,
what was that called? That was a great movie.
Inside Llewellyn Davis, inside Llewellyn somebody.
Inside Llewellyn Davis. That sounds like a totally different movie.
And it's a guy. Oh my God.
Maybe the porn take on the actual real title. I forget, but
I don't
God.
think
Let
I was way
the
too
record
young
show.
when that came out.
I did not drag this show into the gutter. Let the record show.
It
Thank you.
was the
Proceed.
Jew. The
Proceed.
Jew did
Proceed.
it. It's all the Jews. They do everything.
Still a woman dragged it into the gutter this time.
What can we say? But back then in the folk scene, it was really, the criteria was different. And plus, if you listen to his early albums, they're a little less formed, in terms of that voice, they weren't quite, and he's doing a lot of cover songs, he's doing stuff and he's appropriating traditional songs and, sort of doing that kind of thing,
Like, so obviously Bob Dylan's not my genre, but from what I understand, it was because of the protest. Like he wrote I think it was his lyrics. I joked around about the record producer, but I think it was his lyrics and his songwriting that really made him who he is.
No question.
No
my
doubt.
understanding of it.
I mean,
anyway.
it's now half a century on or more, but you hear pay attention to the times they are a changing and those lyrics. I mean, they're captivating, and I'm sure John Hammond was like, "Holy shit." All right. The voice, we got to work on the voice a little. But if I put some good musicians behind them,
they never worked on it. But
it's funny what Bill said before, like also about Tom Waits. Crack me up because Tom Waits does that song, "I'm in love with a Jersey girl," and who covered it? Springsteen's going, "I'm in love with a Jersey." It was just never destined to be sung by a crooner.
Right.
Yeah. Even the song I just sang. He name quotes Rimbaud and Verlaine. That was the folk era. They were all sort of intellectuals.
Patti Smith carried that torch later on.
Yep.
Rimbaud. Yeah.
Like Blowing in the Wind. Blowing in the Wind is still timeless and still sick and appropriate.
If you don't like Bob's version, listen to Stevie Wonder's version.
Yeah. Which is great. But one of you talk about lyrics and the times they are changing, mothers and fathers all over the land don't criticize what you don't understand. I mean, that's friggin' that's brilliant.
Epic. The songwriting is epic.
And what is it? You better get moving or you'll sink like a stone. You're like, that was, and to Sherry, to your point, that was a time when things, compared to now, it may look innocent, but things were really shitty back then in our society. It's almost poetic looking back, but.
Well, and
I thought you were going to say it's almost like now.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens in about 10 years or less, or 10 to 15, whatever. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but we have a whole generation of kids right now who were remote learning, going through a pandemic and dealing with all this stuff that's going on now in the schools. And all this stuff that we didn't have to deal with, and they're going to come out with their own way of protesting and their own way of
Absolutely.
demonstrating. And they're a
They
little
were
too
they,
young now, but like 5, 10, 15 years, it'll be interesting to see what
I think you're right.
their generation turns into.
They were
Well,
raised by
And
technology.
they're gonna be a serious generation because I think, that's my prediction, that this is not
ironically,
I'm with
I'm from like the protest generation. I'm from the Vietnam War protests.
Me too.
I'm from the draft. I'm from all that. The only time I ever got arrested was at an anti-war protest. I'm from all that. And I hope what you're saying is true, but I find what's interesting is that it just seems like culture is moving inward rather than outward,
I agree. Yep.
and in those days, there was rage on the streets. The '68 Democratic Convention, like the Democratic Convention, was where all of the demonstrators are getting popped on the heads.
If you wanted to protest, you had to go out on the streets. Now you just have to share a meme.
Well, that's
but
that's a different protest.
It's not this cardboard sign anymore. It's like a graphic that says
I think
Sherry
this could be more powerful. I think they were raised on technology. They know how to use it. I think in some ways it's going to be way more powerful. Why do we need to go to the streets and get our head cracked? We'll shut down some town or some government. We'll get their attention that way. It's better than burning down a building.
I think
now something happens and you know about it instantly. You don't wait for the 11 o'clock news to roll around or
but the difference is when you waited for the 11 o'clock news, it was actually news. Now you can put anything out there that you want, and really when you look at the what was it, the Arab Spring, that movement, those were people protesting using modern technology, of digital technology, but they were people used to hardship. They were people used to oppression in the realest sense of the word, not because, oh my God, they've taken away my car keys or I can't watch the Kardashians tonight. These were people that knew hardship, war, firsthand. We are so coddled in this country. We don't know any of that shit. And basically we sit there like ping pongs and we bounce between memes and other things that just represent points of view, but honestly are just other people trying to super entertain the rest of the world by doing stuff online. And I hope what you say is true. I hope that this generation does find some way to cut through that, because the delivery system can't be what the thing is. It has to be what the message is, and there has to be passion there and something real,
I think something's gonna click with this generation that's just gonna make them be like, fuck it. We're not gonna.
That I believe.
We're not like what more can we do? Like you're putting us through all this stuff, and these are young minds that haven't even been developed yet, and they're going through all this stuff. So it's gonna be really interesting. I grew up in the 80s. I had a very talk about coddled childhood. I was playing with My Little Pony and Care Bears and stuff like there was nothing wrong with my childhood at all.
No, I mean, the last time we had a war in this country was in 1865. I mean, it's. We're always operating from a distance, which is a great song, by the way, if you know that song, From a Distance. From a distance. Anyway, but we're already operating from a distance, and it's always over there. It's always over there. And it's like, oh my God, they hit Pearl Harbor. Let's fortify the California coast. As if they're going to hit the California coast. It's not going to happen. We're always here, like sort of in a vacuum. And I just, it's very difficult to relate to the real hardship in the world. It's hard to relate to the fact that in most places in Europe, gas is, $7, $8, $9.
Always was. When I
was
was a kid, it was $5.
When it gets $4 and change, and it's like, we don't know what it is to like really suffer or put up with stuff.
I hope we don't have to learn that this year.
This is just my opinion, obviously.
I watch a lot of European news, and the European news that caught my eye a couple of days ago blew my mind. They were actually talking about, and I'm talking about real news, right? Like nonsense news. They were talking about the potential of a civil war in the United States of America.
Yeah.
Around the election in the next 2 years.
The rest of the world is quite worried about us.
Actual civil war. They said, we're drawing battle lines. You're no longer allowed to just be in the middle. You can't say, oh, I don't like either side, which is my position.
Well, mine too.
They're like, you got to take sides. You've got to whatever. And then there's going to be violence, and you're going to have to be in the violence, like a actual civil shooting war. And they were having that conversation like on a point counterpoint kind of a
and not to be too cute about it, but they're observing us from a distance. I mean, a different perspective than us looking at ourselves.
My liberal friends think I'm conservative. My conservative friends think I'm liberal. But honestly, there's
That's
things
my
I
line.
believe in on both sides. Yeah.
Well,
And
I mean, to me, I just clearly cannot go with the Republican Party where they are. But I despise the Democratic Party also.
There you go. Oh my God! But you're not allowed to be in the middle. You got to pick up a rock one side or
No,
another.
but you know
I'm
what? It's
registered independent, and I can't vote in a primary.
it's new. I am too, and to me, it's nuanced, but it's not that nuanced. It's like, if you look at January 6th, that is real easy to make a line right there. That is real easy, and if you don't make a line right there, okay. And if you talk about the younger generation, it's about voting. Like it's about voting. It's about taking voting seriously. It's about understanding the impact of voting. And if you don't do it, man, you're screwed. And that's where we are now.
Commentary coming up.
Nah, the only thing I really have to say about it is, so anyway, when I was in elementary school, we used to sing all the protest songs. That was just what we did in music class. I sang Blown in the Wind. I had no reason why I was singing it. I had no idea what it was about. It was just a song. And, this was like early 70s. So, America has this fascination with 40-year cycles. So we're just coming around to the same old shit we were dealing with 30, 40 years ago. Ecology, gasoline, abortion, guns, racial stuff. It just keeps going around and around and around and around and around. And all it does is just keep us at each other all the time and distracted from all the shit that's really going on.
Scary.
I'm sure
I think
you
that's a good observation.
You used to buy locking gas caps because gas prices
I remember those.
and there was gas shortages and people were siphoning your gas. Second,
my father used to say,
why are we fighting over shit that has been settled for so long?
when September 11th happened and they started like strengthening the cockpit doors so that you couldn't burst into a cockpit, my father, who ran airlines in the 60s, right? He said, we strengthened the cockpit doors in the 60s when Yasser Arafat was like hijacking planes, and then everybody forgets,
Yeah.
Right. I remember when they started rolling like the drink cart in front of the cockpit door, right?
I believe they still do. When the pilot comes out to take a leak, I think they still block the cockpit door with the drink cart. And a flight attendant stands there staring at us.
I'm always sitting in the back of the plane. I never get to see any of that.
That's right. So the terrorist runs up and he's like, I'm going to break out. I want a drink. Give me a tequila,
Yeah.
I think it's, I think it's easy to say that everything is cyclical and it, it seems like it has been through history, kind of, but there are outliers in that theory.
Yeah.
There are people who step way beyond, Hitler was way beyond, he was way beyond Archduke Wilhelm of 1917. He was way beyond. And if you think that it's going to get better, I just think that the delivery system that we have now, the internet, which I believe is the bane and will, if the whole world goes into hell in a handbasket, I believe that's the cause of it. And honestly, I think the delivery system of misinformation, of bullshit, we're not even getting to the point where people are making up their minds. They're just sort of locking on to other opinions, and they're not really looking at anything. And you can say, well, where is the news and what is the news? Well, we do know certain things are true. The truth is still truth. Like, there is truth out there. And I hope everybody's right. I hope this is just a little blip in the thing, but I don't think it is.
I agree with you. Like, I don't think, like, if we're going to do like a circle, right? It's a circle, and then it kind of goes out. Now it's a different circle. And maybe it's to the side a little bit or whatever. You know what I mean? It's not.
Well, it's a Venn chart. It's a Venn chart, and like there is only a tiny overlap where it's good, and the rest of it is bad.
Yeah, but now our fight against, our fight for a woman's right to choose is going to be different than it was during Roe versus Wade, because if it's a different fight. It's the same topic. It's a different fight, and
well, it's the simple truth of this is just that he who controls the judicial branch of the government controls everything. Basically, you can come up with the most harebrained freaking thing, and if you've got judges that are going for you, you got a good chance. And we've lost the checks and balances. We've lost. Our government is different. It's fractured. It's like the whole thing. It's not really. It's working as well as Coke versus Pepsi, has invigorated like soda pop. It hasn't really worked. Like this is now in a place where I've never, I've lived 71 years.
To Sherry's point, this orbit has now gotten wider, almost more elliptical, if you will, to stretch a metaphor.
Whatever, yeah.
And we are heading towards autocracy, in my opinion, without a doubt. We are heading towards some mutation. It's still democracy. No, the fuck it's not. We are heading towards some, because of the judiciary, as you said, Bill, because the system was based on a promise and people just saying, I'll obey the law, like Nixon did during Watergate. No, there were no cops to go grab those tapes. He did it voluntarily. Our last president was like, fuck you. A congressional subpoena that's actually in the Constitution. Fuck you. I'm not giving you one piece of paper. Go fuck yourself. What are you going to do about it?
Well, and that's what those Germans were talking about on this show. They were like, as soon as you start
Wait, we had Germans on this show?
Yeah, no, not this show. I was watching I watch a lot of German news, European news. And
I logged in too late. Okay.
He is Austrian after all.
The friggin' Germans, yeah. And
rockets.
Exactly. And they were saying that the US could descend into actual civil war because states will go, but they talked about sanctuary cities. They're like, sanctuary cities are basically the federal government saying you have to do this, and the cities are going, we're not going to do it. And once you start getting people to say, well, Supreme Court says this, well, we don't recognize that in our state, then you could end up
exactly
with
what Texas has done on gun laws. Texas has declared itself a sanctuary state on gun laws.
Right.
Anything that the federal government comes up with and wants to impose, they have declared they will technically not break the law, but they won't fund it. They won't follow through on
which is what sanctuary cities is.
A sanctuary state. That's
right.
better
And
than
so
a sanctuary
then
city.
what happens? So then you have all these states that are drawing lines.
Why we have a confederacy?
It's worrisome. What's worrisome to me is the Europeans are looking at us and talking about our civil war that I don't see coming. But I guess
Ed, you're right. It's back to the thing from a distance. They're seeing shit that I think we're not seeing.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. We're so polarized right now.
Yeah.
But it's funny again. If this were if this country were run, as a one person, one vote kind of thing, it would be a little bit different. But it's not, and it's and basically again, thanks to the judiciary, the redistricting of voting districts, it's insane. It's like if you look at Ohio sometime and just see how they've broken out like the different counties. It's just sort of like, wow, that's like a Rorschach thing. It's, and this stuff is, this is where the battle is. The battle is in, I think it's in the judiciary, because basically if anything goes, and anything goes if they say it goes, and like Roe versus Wade, you can say that it was, you can say that it's going to be a different battle, but it's the same battle. It's a bunch of white guys telling women what to do with their bodies, and it's, throw in the good book on top of that. And last time I was a little kid, the separation of church and state was pretty strong. We're heading
many people want to
turning into the freaking Taliban. Like we are.
No, they want a theocracy.
It's more like the Middle East,
And like you're talking about the checks and balances being broken. Like I remember 4th grade social studies class. Well, we have 3 branches of government, so one branch is not
equal.
One branch checks on the other branch, and they can't they don't even teach that now.
No, people will, if you watch Fox, and I'm not ragging on Fox in particular, though I think they're disgusting, but it's like, the way they played out the latest shooting incident was, how dare the left politicize this thing? It's like, it's not anything about any issues about it. It's not anything. It's just, how dare the left, they're stoking the flames on this thing. Any civil human being, like, I thought Sandy Hook was going to change stuff. I thought it was going to do what the shooting incident did in Scotland, where there's one incident in a school in Scotland. They immediately banned high magazine weapons, and 6 months later they banned handguns. It's like one incident. you killed 24 kids. And I'll tell you, I just wish everyone could have gone to, the Daniel Barton's funeral. It was the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life. And it's like how you can go from that to getting into a semantic argument about, well, it's not actually semi-automatic. It's really more. And it's
yes.
Like,
what
the fuck are you talking about? Like,
this is like when Ed makes fun of me on the type of bass strings. It's like, stop with this fucking nomenclature, will you? You know what the fuck we mean. A lethal weapon that has high capacity to kill people. I'm sorry, I don't know your secret language and the woo woo woo.
How many squirrels do you need to kill when you're out in the holler? Like really, like.
Wow, you guys are on fire tonight.
Telling you.
Wow.
We pulled it out of the gutter. Let's go back to the gutter.
Just TV. Oh my God.
What job can I go apply for right now where I don't need to be fingerprinted and background checked?
My job.
Right.
No, I take that back. I teach kids. I have to be fingerprinted back.
I mean, I know healthcare is one thing, but I'm sure it's not the only industry that every job I applied for in healthcare, fingerprints, background check.
No, I had to do that because of, I'm working with kids, so I had to get FBI background check,
Yeah, well, I got this job because I'm not on the sex offender list, but like they checked that. And I don't say you're infringing on my rights. You can't check if I'm on that list or if I committed a felony. You can't check.
Wouldn't it be okay to put
because of that? So why can't you check somebody who's applying for a gun and not give them a gun because of that?
Well, at very least, couldn't you put someone who's applying for a gun through the same hoops, hurdles, and obstacles that you put a woman who is trying to make a decision about her own body doing, and I'm not pro this, pro that, a woman wants to have an abortion. That's none of my fucking business,
right.
And I don't judge and I don't think anything, but why is it easier to pick up an AK-47 than it is to make a decision about your own body that really hurts no one, that really is your decision. It's like your thing.
And people tell you, try adopting a cat.
Yeah,
there you go.
Forget it.
Just
an argument on the gun thing, an argument I find compelling, but it's rejected too, is the insurance companies are no dummies, right? They have a lot of data, they have actuarials, all this shit. And you can't rent a car if you're under 25 because they know, especially if you're male and under 25, you're fucking reckless. You have no judgment. You're a Dummkopf. But at 18, this kid was able to go get to fill in the blank on how we describe these weapons, because I know, so if I say it the wrong way, but he was able to do
high capacity magazines,
Yeah.
Well, so if you want to just distill the two things down to their essence, if you're talking about those two things, so you want to be able to regulate something that produces life, but you don't want to regulate something that terminates life.
Right.
Very good. Very good. I like that.
Well said.
I like that.
I guess I know what side we're on in the Civil War.
Yeah, the side without the guns.
We're all hanging out at Ed's house. We're all hiding at Ed's.
Don't tell anybody where I am.
I ain't
we're gonna go to Will Bear's house. We're gonna hide there.
Bear.
He's got canned food in his house. We're going there.
Lots of canned food.
Dried food.
Yeah.
From the beginning of the phase we went through for the 4 years prior to the 4 years we're in now, I was reminded quite often of Superman comics, and particularly the Bizarro world, where up is down, down is up, like whatever, and I found a lot of covers of Superman comics that were really relevant, and they just feel like it just felt like where we were. And I mean, to me, to live in a world where people who call themselves conservatives are supporting someone who is basically ponying up with Russia and it's not an anti-Russia thing, but Russia is what Russia is, and Russia is Putin. The rest of it is all bullshit. The people, but what about the people of Russia? Well, what about them? They're voting for this guy. I mean, to me, it's like a world where he gets the blessing over our intelligence community, and you can debate whether they're intelligent or not intelligent, whatever, but still, it's like, this is freaking Russia. They're our sworn enemy. They really, and their leader is so much more clever than our guy was then. He was just, he was playing them. It was like you're a dollar ante kind of guy going in a $50,000 card game. It's like,
but
wow.
Our guy admired and wanted to be him desperately.
That's right. Yeah, he thought he was terrific. I'm now realizing why I was getting on my show comments from people that were in characters that I didn't recognize. It must have been Russian. Well, I have a friend who is.
I just grabbed my phone. I was checking the comments on this show right now to see what the commentary on our commentary is.
Oh God,
that's right. Yeah.
It's not generated. We're okay.
It'd be called meta commentary, right? Commentary on the commentary.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, my friend, I have a friend who's her family came from the Ukraine, and she says that the Russian people don't want to have anything to do with the war, and that it's Putin's war, not theirs. This is what she says. I don't read the news, so I wouldn't know.
I am not sure that the Russian people are as aware of the extent of the war, frankly. I think that their news media is far stronger than Fox's even here in terms of misrepresenting what's going on.
Totally.
And honestly, I think that they're a bit in the dark about a lot of this, and I think
you're totally right.
I got nothing against Russians.
But apparently, the majority of the men and women on the street actually believe that the Ukrainian government are neo-Nazis and they are killing children. And this is a righteous war to protect the motherland, because there is one voice, like North Korea. And it is true, if you control what the people hear very tightly, something leaks in here and there, but those were 15,000 people across Russia who went to the streets and protested, and they were fucking arrested, and they haven't been heard from since.
I mean, I've seen things where they're talking about, because we need to take the nuclear capabilities away from the Ukraine. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
a little scary.
They're like,
we
can't afford that.
That's out there, and that's why, again, going back to what we said at the beginning, was sort of, the ability to deliver information quickly to millions of people with the push of a button. It ain't all good. It's not all good. It's to me, I love the things where, like, the internet showed me how to fix my printer, but there's a lot of, I don't go there to really find the truth, because it's mostly entertainment. And
I don't want to know the truth.
Video of a cat playing a piano. I like.
How do you find that?
He started all of this, you guys. Bob Dylan, darn him.
Freaking Bob Dylan.
Oh my God!
All right, we have three musicians who can play live music. Somebody give us some music.
Bill Nolan, play a song.
I should have.
You got to go to LaGuardia Airport.
I'm going to play one more, and then I actually have to go to pick up Guy and Catherine at LaGuardia Airport. And I'm going to do one by Bob Dylan, because he's a Russian I can trust.
Perfect. Yeah.
Well, if you're traveling down the North Country Fair, where the winds hit heavy on the borderline, remember me to one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine. Well, if you're going where the snowflakes storm, where the rivers freeze and the summer ends, please see to me, she's got a coat so warm to keep her from the howling wind. Please see for me if her hair hangs long, if it rolls and floats all down her breast. Please see for me that her hair is hanging long, 'cause that's the way I remember it best. And I'm wondering if she remembers me at all. Many times and often I have prayed in the darkness of my night, and in the brightness of my day. So if you're traveling down the North Country Fair, where the winds hit heavy on the borderline, remember me to one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine. She once was a true love of mine.
Very nice, Bill Loman. Fantastic.
You know, that's a song that actually his version of that is not as extreme vocally as what you probably despise. I mean, it's actually pretty almost when he does it, you know. But what can I say? But it's time.
From Scarborough Fair in there, so I thought at first it was a cover of Scarborough Fair, but then
Yeah. Well, I mean, all of that stuff, you know, even Scarborough Fair, you know, like Paul Simon gets a writing credit on that, but that song preceded him by a long time, you know, and you'll hear certain British guys, you know, Davy Graham and Bert Jansch and John Renbourn, who are, you know, they play a lot of that sort of old time British folk stuff. They're in bands like Pentangle and, you know, Fairport Convention. Even
What was the name
and
of that?
Scarborough Fair is really, it's a folk song that, and it's, you know, he added a lot of flourish and a lot of style and a lot of other stuff to it. But, you know, a lot of this stuff, you know, folk music really started with really ripping people off. Like that's how it started.
That's the tradition.
That song was
That's right. Better than Zeppelin ripped off the blues guys. Yeah.
Right.
So that song you just played was recorded before Simon and Garfunkel recorded Scarborough Fair, then, right?
Oh, a long time before. Yeah.
And there was a big, like, you know, battle for a while between them over the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, Dylan, you know, Sherry, you said it's the lyrics were really, you know, believe me, if Dylan had not happened, it would have taken a long time for Paul Simon to become Paul Simon, you know, because Dave Robinson, great man. Hey, Dave. You know, you listen sometimes, like Simon at his worst to me is when he gets a little too wordy, but I know who he's emulating, you know, like it's like, I love Paul Simon, but you know,
never thought of it before, but I think you're right.
You know, he definitely, you know, a Homeward Bound, you know, rhymes and have no meaning and that, you know, it's just like, come on, get over yourself, you're Queens, you know, let's get funky here, you know.
I like it.
Oh, I love it.
I don't understand the thing with him and Edie Brickell. That was like one of those many marriages where we were like, oh, that's an age thing, now that won't last, and now it's like 50 years later and they're doing stuff.
It's had its ups and downs from what I've read in the tabloids.
Well, that's the only place where there's anything true in press today.
It's funny he ends up in Fairfield County, you know.
Not as true as Johnny Depp.
I was, this will shock you all, I was a behavior problem my junior year of high school.
No, what?
Only your junior year?
Just a bit. So I got tossed out of Staples High School, and I had to go to Greens Farms Academy, which actually turned out to be one of the best years of my life for many reasons. Got over my fear of girls and smoked weed and all that shit.
That's right.
So fast forward, like 45 years later, Paul Simon is doing a concert at Greens Farms Academy, and if you're an alumni, you can get 2 tickets. And I went with my son, and out on the back lawn, full stage, full band.
Wow.
The best sound I've ever heard at any concert. The tickets were like $40 each, or so it was a fundraiser thing. And I'm sitting on like cafeteria chairs in this lawn. It got cut short due to a thunderstorm. It was fucking brilliant. It's one of the best shows I've ever seen.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, Nolan, good to see you. Go get Guy and Catherine at LaGuardia.
It's time to be wandering.
Garbage.
That's right.
Have a safe trip down there. Good to see you.
This was a good chit chat. I don't know if we like burned the ears of the people who are watching this, but
yes, we're going to be following you, Nolan. Nolan, we're going to be following you.
Family thing here, you know. That was like
our viewers in Asia are like, "What's going on with this show? The American, the Civil War is coming! Oh my God, the JTV!"
You're so funny.
There's hope on Jam TV. All right, Nolan, I'll see you later. Good to see you.
Bye,
Bill.
I salute you.
Sounded great.
Good stuff.
He did.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm not contributing music to like ease the mood and bring
Come
in the
on,
joy
man.
tonight. I'm like, I left my guitar in the other room.
What about you, Sherry? You got anything you're gonna sing?
Yeah.
Yay!
Sherry.
Bring it on. Bring it on, baby.
Don't point that thing at me unless you're gonna use it.
That thing is, well, yeah, don't use the word WEAPON, or we might have our
Yes.
SWAT
Yeah,
team in
don't
all
make
of our
me
homes.
turn on my synthesizer. I had my
Jesus,
Moog,
oh Christ. Oh,
I
God.
got my Moog synthesizer
I
connected.
decided to do a folk song tonight because we're talking about folk music and I never play it. I always
Check this out. Watch this. I'm gonna turn my Moog and my Czechoslovakian synthesizer on.
Excellent.
Czechoslovakian.
Czechoslovakian.
Excellent.
There it is.
It sounds just like a ukulele.
Are you
Oh, the noise cancellation made it go away. There you go. Oh well. Go ahead, Sherry. What are you gonna do?
Okay, I'm gonna do circle games. Yesterday, a child came out to wonder, caught a dragonfly inside a jar. Fearful when the sky was full of thunder. Tearful. It's because Dave's here making fun of me. Hang on, let me try again. I can't play anything in front of Dave. That's why Dave doesn't play in my band. I'm just teasing. No, I always play songs I don't know. And hang on, I can. Anyway, all right. Anyway, I know this now. Here we go. Yesterday, a child came out to wonder, caught a dragonfly inside a jar. Fearful when the sky was full of thunder, and tearful at the falling of a star. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captured on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in a circle game. 16 springs and 16 summers gone now. Cartwheels turn to car wheels through the town. And they tell him, take time, it won't be long now. Till you drag your feet to slow the circle down. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captured on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game. And go round and round and round in the circle game. I love that song. You can unmute everyone, Ed.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah,
Fun.
really. We're saying good things. It was really good.
Yeah, that's right. We were all clapping and saying horrible things while we were clapping.
You know, well, first of all, I feel like, you know, and this was true in person, and Ed knows this about me too. And a lot of people disagree, but I feel like the jam is where you go and you try out something new.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really,
I do it at a gig, you know, and that's where you go and, oh, you know what? I screwed up this song or whatever. But I know that, like, you know, when you're playing in a band, bar owners don't want to hear, and I hear it all the time from live bands, and you don't want. Brandy's like, what? What is she going to say? You don't want to hear guys, this is the first time we ever tried this song.
Oh.
We've never rehearsed this. The bar owner does not want to know that he's paying a group of people who didn't rehearse. He wants to know that you guys put hours and hours and hours of work into this so he can pay your work. But I feel like the jam, all right, like I've never played this song, and Ed just brought up 17 guitar players that I've never even met. Well, let's just play. Here's some chords and let's just play. And see how
What could happen? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the name jam.
Barry, I think you are spot on. I play a lot of gigs and a lot of bands. I have a great time. The reason I still go to open mics is to sit in that spot and not know what's coming at me next, and having something thrown at me, like, all right, I got to pick this up. I think I can get it. Probably won't get it in the first verse, but I'll get it. You know, that's the fun part of a jam. Not doing the same, yet another rendition of Need Ice. Fill in the blank. You guys know.
Right.
Oh my God.
The fun part is someone coming up saying, all right, and as long as it's in my head, I've heard it before, like, yeah, let's try this. Let's go.
All that's going to do is make you a better player.
Yes.
It's going to make you a better listener. You can't play in a jam with a bunch of people you've never met and songs you're not even really that familiar with and just be like, I'm just going to zone out and just play. You can't. You got to be on it.
You got to figure out who on the stage knows it
and follow them.
You're like, what are they doing? Or fix it. Like, if they're
how
like,
many times have I leaned into you like, what's next? Like, hey, thank you.
All right, I'll play another one. I'm just looking. One that I sort of know. Let me find one.
You're on roll, baby.
Never practiced for the first time.
That's right. And this is a song I never. Yeah.
By the way, yes.
How often do you think I sit around playing circle game at home?
Right.
Although my one thing before Sherry gets ready, my favorite thing, I'm being very sarcastic, at an open mic when I'm in the house band and some guy comes up and he turns around to all of us and goes, "This is an original." I'm supposed to guess lotto numbers now?
There's only 12 notes, yeah.
It has only 12 notes in it. That's right.
Yeah, he turns around and glares at me. What, my Kreskin? I don't know where this is going. Go.
All right, let's see. Hang on.
What do you got?
Why is your... Oh, okay. I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so special about the place. Even your emotions have an echo, so much space. Yeah, when you were out there, without a touch. It wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much. That make me crazy. That make me crazy. That make me crazy. Possibly. Papa Pay. Papa Pay. Papa Pay. Come on, who do you think you are? Ha ha ha, bless my soul. You think you're in control? Come on, Ed, I want to hear a solo on that. That make me crazy. That make me crazy. That make me crazy. Possibly. Ed, don't tease. You gotta unmute. You gotta unmute, Ed. If you're gonna have that thing there, you gotta unmute. Actually, I want to see Blinker play it. Yeah, that's good. Dave doesn't even know what's going on. I don't think he wants to know what's going on. Ed just disappeared, and I'm still strumming and talking. That's what I do. Yeah, when I was out there, looked like fun. And it's no coincidence I've come. And I can die when I'm done. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe you're crazy. Maybe we're crazy. Possibly. Papa Pay. Papa Pay. Papa Pay.
Very nice. Very
That's
nice.
great.
The one person in my
That's
live
great.
audience is clapping. Dave is clapping, so that's good.
Nice
No, that's
vocals.
great. And
Nice
that's
vocals.
a brilliant. I love that song. I played that in a couple of bands.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant song lyrically too, about describing, I don't know, mental illness. I get it's really good.
And I like, this is Daniela Andrade, and I'm covering her version of that song, which I really like.
I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard her version of it.
Yeah, I just know Gnarls,
If you guys want to book me, you got to book through my agent over here.
the agent here.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of cut does he take?
Exactly.
If you take some liberty with chord substitutions, you can make it really interesting.
Well, you got a gig coming up, Sherry. What's plug your gig?
Yeah, so it's July 16th. Dave just went to take a phone call. It's July 16th. It's at Carmine's Deli, which is in Elmsford, New York. And
wow.
I guess, Jimmy and Eric are New York people, and, I've been playing with them a lot. So they had this connection, and July 16th. Apparently it's a cool band. It's a $10 cover, and apparently that's their thing, is like they just get band after band after band in there. So July 16th. Frank Tosto's band called, is it Abbey Soul? He's in a Beatles cover band. They're playing there June 18th. And
That's very cool.
That should be a good time. Yeah, we're just kind of getting our feet wet, we're getting ourselves started, and we're trying to see what's out there for us.
That's
No,
good.
is this the Snap Crackle Pops?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's not the right name. I'm sorry.
It is right. It is right name.
Oh, it is right. Okay, good.
Yeah, I was just
So-
trying to come up with a name that like showed that it was pop music, and I've seen all kinds of
Yeah,
I've seen
perfect.
clever classic rock band names, that were lines from classic rock songs and stuff. So I was like, what? Like, I was trying to find something with the word pop in it, and I was like, Snap Crackle Pop is also a genre. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's a generation. It
No
just nailed it.
one's going to come to see Snap Crackle Pop and expect to hear the Allman Brothers.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
No.
true.
And then
No
like,
one way out.
fun, because now I think I'm going to make it a thing. I did it at the Horseshoe, but I'm just going to get like a big box of Rice Krispie treats at Costco. And
Throw them
yeah,
out.
we did it at the Horseshoe, and it was a lot of fun, and people got a kick out of it. So instead of having a merch table, we're just going to give out Rice Krispie treats.
Selling boxes.
Sharpies and autograph them, and then
That's the move. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
move.
You
Exactly.
could sell like bracelets made of them and like necklaces, like
Exactly.
little hats on.
hats. Yeah.
Hang on, I'm gonna play a video from that thing. We've done this before on the show, but I'm gonna play it. I got it loaded up. Hold on. Here it is.
Drummer. 1, 2, 3.
Changing
There it
That
is.
was
Oh,
great,
Eric,
man.
fucking hey, Eric.
That was great.
That was fucking awesome.
And
Yeah, it really was. It's really interesting, Ed, watching you as a sideman kind of do what you do. It's like a really good sideman, like fills things out.
I'm a
fills out
sideman. I'm not a front
is what he
feature
does.
player.
Exactly, but then when you want a good lead, the guy can kick out and
There you
whip
go.
out an amazing solo and then go back.
Yeah,
to
I can
being
do a
the back-
solo, but I'm a sideman. People are like, "Oh, Ed, you're always up front." Like, no, I'm in service
Yeah.
of the singer, and I'm,
Yeah.
I'm happy
I've
to-
seen you in both, but but it's always at the right time in each
Ed
role.
is such a good listener, and like really knows when to come in and when to pull back, and that's not dirty. That's not
When
dirty.
I know the notes, I come in. When I don't know the notes, I cut out.
And so, but I always we got a lot of positive feedback about that performance at the Horseshoe, and I was telling somebody that like Ed Train is like, if we booked a gig at Madison Square Garden and Ed's like, yeah, I'll be there, and we're not going to have time to rehearse, I would play Madison Square Garden with Ed unrehearsed and not even.
I will learn the gig in the elevator on the way to the stage.
Right.
That's right.
Like I have that much. I don't know if you know that, Ed. I have that much faith in you.
I appreciate that. I've got a gig next Thursday with the girls.
Oh,
with
yeah.
this guy,
Where is
and like so, I got to start practicing. Like this
No,
weekend.
you always come through. You always do. Absolutely.
Where is that?
That's at the gazebo in the green in Fairfield by the
Oh,
movie
wow.
theater and the
Outdoors.
library downtown there.
Cool.
Cool place.
It's going to be a
Very
great
cool.
gig. We did that last year. You get the chairs, you sit out on the lawn, it's nice
Is it
and
a
chill.
fundraiser? I know you guys kind of do fundraisers with that group.
It started as a
What's up, Eric? I see Eric's comment.
Eric.
there he is. It started as
Dennis.
a breast cancer awareness at the Horseshoe.
Yep.
And how many times have you guys done that? Like 3 or 4 times? 3 times?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, at least 4. At least
4,
I would
yeah.
say.
That was
And it's-
before my
it's-
time
I mean,
with the group.
It wasn't my idea, but it's a very cute double entendre. The band is the girls. 2 of the ladies have survived breast cancer, and it's the girls, but it's also the girls. That's the double entendre of the band.
That's clever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Who came up with the name?
I never explained the double entendre of Snap Crackle Pop.
I don't know, but if I had to point the fickle finger of fate, I gotta believe that's a Linda move.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're playing at the gazebo next Thursday. So anybody wants to come and see that, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's free. It is really cool. Just bring a long chair, put some wine in a thermos, and come enjoy.
What time is that?
6:30.
Okay.
I'm doing this gig at Newton Wellesley Hospital this week. There's a remembrance ceremony. So
Right.
it's like a religious kind of ceremony thing. Like
Well,
I have
where
to
is
get
that?
every note right.
So what are you
it's
doing?
in-
What material?
Exactly. Oh, just my usual pop stuff.
Running
No,
with
it's-
the devil, and
yeah, exactly.
That's brilliant.
Doctor, give me the news. Bad case of loving you, all that kind of stuff.
Perfect.
I guess it's something they do every year. That's like a ceremony for nurses who have passed away. Who
Oh,
would
wow.
just work
Yeah.
there, not necessary from COVID. But it's like this is going to be the first gig I've done in a long time where I'm going to be like really nervous about hitting every note right.
You'll be great. You'll be
You're
great.
meticulous. You'll do fine.
Yeah. Yes. I'll play each and every note correctly.
I don't worry about you.
So
and where are
thank
you playing?
I'm glad one of us does.
Randy, where are you playing?
Well, in theory, I'm at the Sunset Grill tomorrow night, but the weather doesn't look too hip for that. It looks like it's gonna suck.
Yeah, I've got a
Um,
gig on Saturday that's outdoors.
But
in
so
Woodburn.
Sunday, I'm at
That's
the
the thing
Oaks,
with
that
those.
place in Norwalk, that Norwalk Golf Club thing. They have a bar called Smokin' Aces or something at the Oaks, and that's Sunday with the B-side.
Nice.
And that's right under a big tree, I assume.
No, that will be tomorrow night. I will be holding an umbrella
Good,
by the
good.
water with
Yeah,
an
yeah.
electric base in my hand and my tongue out.
correct.
Right.
And then you're
Monday,
gonna-
any gigs Monday?
to the end.
No gigs Monday.
Monday, I'm at the Gaelic Club, Gaelic American Club in Fairfield with mostly Green Band. So
Nice.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I picked up gigs there all of a sudden. Both my bands will be playing there over the next several weeks.
Kind of a fun place to play. They're into
It's
it.
very
and-
fun.
and this- and this-
it's really talk about a place with two different crowds, as you know, Ed. You got to start off. There's families with kids at the table. They want
Right.
to talk. Easy, Beavis. Easy, Chief.
Yeah.
Did
And
you
then
get a
by
back scratcher?
9:30 or so, like Linda got this crowd whooped up. They were moving tables out of the way and dancing.
Right.
But you got to wait for that second shift, if you will. But
Did you get a back scratcher? Did the guy come out and give you
Oh,
a
the back
scratcher?
scratcher guy, I know.
I got 2 of those back scratchers. I
Yeah, and
have
well,
I
now
just
he's
gave me
handing
one.
out, he's handing out little wooden animal figurines. And,
Ooh, I don't have any of
and,
those.
he, and he caught me doing animal porn with the two of them. He wasn't very entertained by that.
He's funny, that guy.
Animal porn, huh?
Yeah.
That's a whole new internet
He's
genre.
like Gene O'Neill or something. Wait, where's my back scratcher?
No,
I'm
I
gonna
know,
find it.
dude. I have it's in my car. I have it. And he remembered. He was passing them out, and he looked at me. He was like, "You already have one." I was like,
That's
2
right.
years ago.
And they're numbered. It's like
Yes.
2,742. He's like, no more for you. You know?
The serial number lasts
He's got
forever.
his wood burning kit.
Oh, I got something great with that. Hang
It's
on.
a shoehorn on one side and it's a back scratcher on the other side. Yeah. And bottle opener, probably.
That's so funny you remember that. Yeah,
He
it
has
is. But it's a very engaging place. It's like, they come around, they ask me, they had a guy, the bus boy, he's even older than us,
Oh, yeah.
with a white beard, and all he has is a series of horribly bawdy jokes. Like, they're funny, but they're not funny, but they're all off color. And he picked on me, and I can barely understand him with this Irish accent. His management, we started doing late in the evening, and everybody's dancing. Well, he starts dancing. He drags a female patron up on the floor and starts dancing with her, and he's going nuts. And clearly, somebody behind him in management gave him the.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He just stopped and he.
Let the woman go down again.
It's Bob. Hey, Bob. How you doing, Bob? Good to
Big
see you,
Bob.
man.
Why are
Big
cats
fuzzy Bob.
camera shy?
What's that?
Why are cats camera shy?
I don't know. Mine aren't. Where am I?
Yeah,
Yeah, they never.
yeah, yours
cooperate.
are always happy to be on camera.
Where are they?
I could go
they're-
get Libby the Yorkie, and she would do the same thing. My little Yorkie.
So you know why he's putting the serial numbers on them is because they'll be collector's items, the back scratchers someday.
That's
and
right.
You'll be
Yeah,
able to
piece of
identify
Irish
like,
history. Yes.
What
This
have
is
you
like-
got there?
This is a fire extinguisher. People know that I'm a fire buff. I like the fire department. I think they're
Wow.
pretty cool. So this is based on the serial number, which is everything is engraved on this. This whole label, it's not paper. It's all metal.
Wow.
So if somebody gave this to me, and so I contacted the former manufacturer who are in business and said, "How old is this?"
Yeah,
and they
how old
said,
is it?
"What's the serial number?" It's
Wow.
it's 102 years old.
Wow.
No
And
shit.
and it's filled with poison that no one will accept.
Yeah.
Like the city of Cambridge has said, not in this town. We
Yeah.
are not hazmat day. They're like, get out of here now. It's like benzalkonium chloride, kill
Yeah,
you now.
right.
It's something. It will kill the fire and you.
Yeah, even the EPA is like, no, we're not.
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
that.
it's like,
We're not.
and which ironically, something that would be built as a safety device, no one will take as dangerous.
Now it's just a bomb. Yeah.
yeah.
It's cool. I thought it was a microphone. I thought it was like a tube mic.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Sherry and I, and then when we were both saying we had a big microphone between our legs. Yeah.
Yeah. it was pretty-
Wait, I said that?
somebody-
Yeah, I had like a large. I was trying to explain why I couldn't maneuver in a certain way because I had a tube mic, between my legs. And I said, "You guys don't understand. I have a big mic between my legs." And I didn't mean that the way it sounded. And then I thought you said, "So do I." And I thought,
No, this
maybe
is-
she's. I don't know.
This is Sherry. This is Sherry looking up at the solar eclipse with the worst
Yeah, but
glasses in the
Yes,
world.
yes.
And this is me dressed in some sort of gypsy dress.
Oh my God!
I don't even know
Wow.
what's happening there. Like,
The
what is
cosmic-
going on
yeah.
there?
But I thought I had a picture of Ed outside. I didn't.
The cosmic gypsy.
So we all went out.
I look like I'm wearing a big, colorful skirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's like two. That's like two levels beyond drag.
No,
It
no.
is, yeah. It's like
He has that like tapestry thing draped over like a table,
No, don't ruin it.
and his laptop.
kaleidoscopic drag. Kaleidoscopic drag. That would be a
Somewhere in
good
my
name for a
pic-
band.
Somewhere in my pictures, I have a picture of Ed and Sherry in their little German outfits with the accordion. I do. I have to find
I want to see that.
good one.
Oh,
That's
I
a
really
good
want
one.
to see that.
Also, the French,
In
we
our
did a
leader
day
hotel.
where in France, and like we're wearing like berets and have roses in our teeth.
I don't have that one, but
I have the
God.
German
That's
one.
fun
Yes.
time. And then you
It's
did the
very
motorcycle-
historical.
Remember we put all the motorcycles in the garden area, and everyone.
Right.
And you came. Yeah, like all the staff. There was a lot of staff that had motorcycles, so we did like a motorcycle appreciation day, and all of the staff who had motorcycles, we parked them in this little like outdoor area, and the residents could come outside and like touch the motorcycle, touch a truck thing, and like pose with them, like with the motorcycles. And then
Pretty
Ed
badass.
came and did a slideshow of his one of his road trips.
Mhm.
That's right. Yeah, I
Damn.
remember that.
shit, Ed, I could have brought my mobility scooter.
There you go. That's the move. All right, I got one more video for you guys. Check this out. This is
Jealous,
Fatback.
Randy. They're just in manual wheelchairs. Someone has to push them, so like they would be very jealous.
They would be
Your
jealous. Yeah.
technologies.
Oh, mine's badass. It folds up and everything. Ed's
I
seen
did
it.
Cinco de Mayo over at Waveney. I played the accordion, and like it was fun. We did La Bamba, and
Yeah.
Nice.
all right, check this out. Fatback and the Urban Plumwood.
By the rivers of Babylon, where we sat down, and there we lived, when we remember Zion. By the rivers of Babylon, where we sat down, and there we lived, we remember Zion. And the breezes of carry us away captivity, requiring of us a song. How can we think in our soul in a strange land? So let the words of our mouth and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, override. Let the words of our mouth and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, override. So let the words of our mouth and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight,
That was great.
That's a cool.
Yeah,
tune.
that's cool. Nice
That's really
harmonies.
Cool. And
That
the
was
drum-
in,
the drum
where
part
was
is
that?
very cool.
Paramus? Where was that, Sherry? Passaic. It was at Passaic, New Jersey.
But that was excellent.
At the band show. Those guys are so good. Like,
Oh,
they're-
those are sweet harmonies. That's really cool.
Yeah, yeah. They
And
sing
I'm
well
trying
on
to
the
send
drum.
you. You can promo our gig. I'm trying to send you a video of you and me with the girls.
oh, yeah?
Yeah,
I'll
hold
see if
on.
I can get it on. That band is a little bit like the girls, although there are no girls.
Other than the genitalia.
Yeah, exactly. For the genitalia problem. That band, each of the guys up front have their own band, and they're like a front person lead singer, and they do these amazing harmonies, just like the girls. You know, they all have their own band, and they kick ass. And when they get together, they take it to another level.
Take a double ass. Yeah.
So, are you going to send me something, Randy?
As soon as I find it.
All right. Well, when you find it, you send it. I'll play one more because otherwise we're going to wrap the show.
I'll get it to you. I'll get it to you by the time that's over. Hold on, just
use the little girls' room and get something to drink and stuff. So
Sherry, good to see you.
Bye, Sherry.
I'm going to play one more by Fatback, and we'll be right back. And maybe we'll have one by the girls. Good to see you.
You will.
Let's go. Yo soy un hombre sincero, de donde crecen las palmas. Yo soy un hombre sincero, de donde crecen las palmas. Y antes de morir me quiero echar mis besos del alma. Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera. Mi verso es de un verde claro y tu jardín encendido. Mi verso es de un verde claro y un jardín encendido. Mi verso es de un cielo herido que busca en el monte amparo. Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera. Con los pueblos de la tierra quiero yo mi suerte echar. Con los pobres de la tierra quiero yo mi suerte echar. El arroyo de la sierra me complace más que el mar. Guantanamera, everybody sing along. Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Pahia Guantanamera, Guantanamera. Thank you so much, Courtney Coletti.
That's really good.
I love that. Yeah.
Whoa, look who's here.
I'm
Hey,
gonna
what's up?
learn
Look
that
who's
song.
here.
I'm going to learn that.
What's up, Brandy?
I'm all right.
Don't worry, bud. And
How you
that was
doing?
really good. By the way, everybody is great in that. You are the vocals. I have to give props to the drummer in that. That
Yeah,
drummer,
yeah,
especially
that's-
in the solo part,
Mm.
that guy had really good restraint. He brought it, but he didn't
Yep.
do the the
That
bombastic.
band,
thing.
everybody's cool in that band. They're all
Everybody,
Yeah.
no, without a doubt. I particularly noticed what that drummer brought to that.
Yeah, the same thing with the earlier tune too. He was during the verses. He was playing this really unique part where I was like,
Yeah.
"This doesn't sound like any pattern I'm used to hearing."
Yeah, that's
Like,
cool.
what the hell is this? You know?
The accordion rock, though, that was the thing.
Of course.
Yeah,
we
the
know
accordion.
that.
brought it all
Yeah,
together.
the accordion made it.
Right?
Oh, you-
I don't even
Okay.
get it. Like those
Stuff
guys are
up
so
with
good,
Masco,
and they're like,
stuff.
Dave Hirsch is like, so we want you to drive down from Connecticut or wherever I am to Passaic, New Jersey, to play accordion, and I'm like, really? Are you sure? Like, and he's like,
Like,
no,
for
we want
money?
you to play accordion. I'm like, really? Like, but it does add some nice little.
Oh, it's
color to
great.
it, you know.
No, and their
Nice.
fucking harmonies are to die
Oh,
for.
great.
Killer.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah.
Killer. How you doing,
And-
Eric? What's going on?
Doing great, just gigging, writing, recording, doing all that good fun stuff. Got a couple of shows coming up. We're playing Cafe 9, Light Warriors playing Cafe 9 next weekend.
Nice.
And then we're doing some concert series in the middle of June. So yeah, everything's moving. We actually just played a free show at Park City Music Hall. If you guys have not been, this venue is amazing.
Yeah.
It's-
Wow.
They really
Wow.
transformed the acoustic. The acoustic was the acoustic, and it was
It was
great
a
for
little
what it
tired.
was.
Yeah.
It was a little tired towards the end.
I didn't know
uh,
that. I didn't know that they had improved it. That's great.
Yeah, they the stage is in the back now. They got a top of the line sound system. They're getting like national and international acts. They're getting cats like Bill Frisell, who's one of my
Wow.
heroes.
No
who's coming
shit.
through.
Wow.
Yeah, he's gonna be. I think he's gonna actually be there tomorrow with a
cool.
trio, and yeah, it's great. They're doing a great local scene, and they're getting great national acts coming through, and the management really cares about creating good experiences for everybody. It's not just about like, hey, come be a patron, drink, spend money, get the hell
Right,
out. Like they really want everybody to have a good time. There's an energy to the place that you don't get in a lot of places.
Yeah,
So,
my boy Pat told me it's really improved. It's like way better.
yeah, it's great. They have a good open mic on Tuesdays too.
No shit.
Who's running that?
I don't know. I forget the guy's name. I've only been a couple of times, and I haven't been able to get back in the last month. So I think it's changed hands a couple of times, but
Right.
it was solidly run, and good talent. Like a lot of original music, some covers, some really great stuff, bands, solo artists, all great, and they do a feature act too, which is cool.
Nice.
That's really cool. So you gonna play something for us, Eric?
I could,
I'd love it.
Come on.
yeah.
Come on.
All right. Let me see.
Did you have a flood in your studio
I did.
like
Oh,
2
God.
years ago or a year ago or something?
No,
right?
believe it or not, this is a crazy story. So, well, crazy for me because I was in the middle of madness. I had like 14 nights in a row of something going on, whether it was rehearsal or gig. I think there was like 12 gigs and 2 rehearsals, and
Excuse me.
I had a gig in the city the night of the hurricane that came through in last September.
Right.
So my wife's like, we're getting off stage at like 9:30. She's like, you got to get on the road. You got to get home. It's getting bad, hurricane warnings. And so I'm getting on the road. It took me 5.5 hours to get home from the West Side Highway of Manhattan. 5.5 hours. I kept getting rerouted, into flood zones. I had, I'm driving through floods. I'm like, is my car gonna make it through this? I finally get home at like, I think 2:30 in the morning, and I could not get the garage door open to the basement, which is where my studio is. And because I had stupidly put wood floors in because I wanted the resonance of wood when I'm
Oh.
recording, you know.
Yeah.
So,
The resonance of warped wood when I'm recording.
The
I would
smell
know.
of moldy
Yeah,
wood.
the smell.
it's crazy. It's
Ah.
just so stupid. I'm so pissed at myself. But I put, we put, we live on High Ridge Road. We're like on a hill. We're not in a
Yeah,
flood
what would
zone.
you
There's never
expect?
been a flood. But
I've
apparently,
seen where you
on
live,
the night of the
yes.
hurricane, you get like 9 inches of rain in an hour, and the water tables just can't handle it. So it all came up. I finally forced the door open, and thankfully, I was able to save all my gear. The
That's
rugs that I have down on the floor were sopped up everything. So I still had like a layer of like this much water, but I was able to dry the drums and get all the electronics out of the way. And
Good.
so finally at 6 o'clock in the morning, I finally get to sleep, and then my body is just trained to wake up at like 9, and I was up for the rest of the day. And that's when we played. We opened for John Baptiste at Stanford's Alive at 5. So I was just like, God damn, like 3 hours of sleep,
Yeah.
miserable situation. I struggled through that gig, but it was fun to do. But it was just like, God, I wish I had more energy for this right now.
Yeah.
Good story, though. Good story.
Yeah, it was bad. So, but yes, Ed, we so this is vinyl on the floors now.
Now, yes.
Yeah, space age technology.
It's got that good vinyl sound, that
That's right.
resonance, Yeah.
Exactly. Well,
Goes well with the shop back.
there's nothing like the resonance of vinyl.
Yeah, that really just gives that warmth. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, so I guess I'm still flummoxed by it because I can't get my shit together to get this guitar on.
Well, we did kind of put you on the spot, but you're rising to the occasion, so you get extra points just for that.
So last night I was on a show for an organization called Unity Earth that I've been a part of, and they're trying to bring together a bunch of organizations to just do peace activism, and I've done some great. I've had some great experiences with them. I went to Ethiopia and performed in Ethiopia, and just been like meeting amazing speakers and thinkers and stuff. So I did this song last night. Randy knows this tune. But I do it a little differently acoustically. It's called Raise the Frequency. So
Love it.
it was 1:36:01 on a day when the sun was eclipsed by the moon. Darkness falls, danger lurks around. When will we solve for these broken rules? We hit extinction levels, for we see it's only us who can help us, as the roots are destroyed by persistent abuse. Nature taking over, changing the tune, and sometimes life can make us so sad. Still minds recognize ourselves. Still minds recognize ourselves, so we gotta raise the frequency, higher spirit. Raise the frequency, higher spirit. Higher frequencies, raise the spirit. Raising frequency, bringing love into action. Bringing love into action. Bringing love into action. Bringing love into action. We got these maze of emotions, making focus go hazy. Paralyzing thoughts at times, stirring remembrance when I was a part of a world meaning something. Yeah, this infinite potential is spiraling within these darkest emotions they're controlling. So inject compassion on traumatized hearts. interdepend on our natural arts, and sometimes life can make us so mad. Quiet's disrupted and we recognize what we have. Recognize what we have, so we gotta raise the frequency, higher spirit. Raise the frequency, higher spirit. Higher frequencies, raise the spirit. Raising frequency, bringing love into action. Love into action. Love into action. Bringing love into action. We suffer from PTSD. It's drilled so deep inside of our psyche, 'cause they rule by confusing our rational thought with these man-made creations destroying the natural order. So we gotta dive deep in the fire, where we can salvage the ones taking us higher. Under the surface is a wheel of steel, holding on to past, teaching us to feel. And sometimes life can make us so mad. Forward motion pauses, and light fills us and overwhelms. The light overwhelms, so we gotta raise the frequency, higher spirit. Raise the frequency, higher spirit. Higher frequencies, raise the spirit. Raising frequency, bringing love into action. Love into action. Love into action. Bringing love into action, yeah.
Wow.
Eric nails it, man.
I fucking love that song. I just fucking love that song. I used to tell like when we would play, we would hit that song, and I felt freer and more relaxed on that song than any of the others. And then whatever we played after that, I was just more relaxed. I was in a better mood. I can't really describe it, but you know, Eric, from practices or whatever we were gigging, I'm like, I just fucking love that song. It's really good.
It's so easy to play, you know. It's just like
it is and it isn't. It is and it isn't. But for me, I wanted to bring the right groove to it, but it was so fun. Anyway, I'll babble.
You always did. You always did.
Be interesting to hear what it sounded like if you slowed the tempo down, so that it was like much slower. You know.
Oh yeah.
Into action.
Yeah. I've done that before too. I get carried away. You know, the spirit takes me, so I got to go with it.
And it always went over well. It was we were in a cover band of reggae tunes, but it was the one non-cover tune. I believe it was the only one, right?
Yeah, it's a Light Warriors song.
Yeah, and it always went over great. Always great crowd response.
Yeah, people like it. You know, I guess it's a sign of the times. You know, like we really need. Like it's so hard to be loving
God,
these
dude.
days, isn't it not? I mean, just
Yeah, you missed the first part of the show. We were deep into
Oh
the
man,
weeds. on that.
yeah, we were like,
It was
yeah.
not.
despair
It
of it,
was
yeah.
not
It was
cheery.
brutal. Yeah.
I was
I'm
I was
sorry.
scared to
Well-
come on. I like watched for like 15 minutes, and I was like, "This is angry politics." I don't like.
Wow,
My parents used to do this at the table at dinner, every night. My mom would like throw water at my father and stuff, and my sister and I would just like watch it.
Well, at least we were
Everybody
largely
was
the
on a
same side.
tear. Everybody. Yeah.
We were largely
I'll
on the
make
same
sure to
side.
watch it.
It was a good one. You got one more for us before we wrap the night?
Yeah. I'll do a Dylan
Great.
tune for you.
I
'Cause
love
it
that.
was Dylan's 81st birthday on Tuesday, so.
Bill Nolan did 3 or 4 Dylan tunes tonight, and I'm glad that you're doing a Dylan tune because I miss doing that stuff with you.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We did that, like 4 years ago now? 3 years ago?
Before the pandemic.
Yeah, that's right. 100 years
Wow.
ago. Yeah.
That was a lot of fun, Ed. I really enjoyed that night.
That was fun. All right, do some Dylan. You do it so well.
All right, so this one is actually, everybody thinks it's George Harrison's tune, but it ain't. It's Dylan's tune. If not for you, babe, I couldn't find the door, couldn't even see the floor. I'd be sad and blue. If not for you, if not for you, babe, I'd lay awake all night, wait until the morning light to shine on through. But it would be nothing new if not for you. Not for you, my sky would fall and rain would gather too. Without your love, I'd be nowhere at all. I'd be lost. What would I do if not for you? I'd be so sad and blue. If not for you, if not for you, my sky would fall and rain would gather too. Without your love, I'd be nowhere at all. I'd be lost. Girl, what would I do? Nothing would ring true. And I'd be so lost and sad without you. If not for you. If not for you, winter would have no spring. I couldn't even hear the robin sing. I'd be so sad and blue. But this would be nothing new. And you know it just wouldn't ring true if not for you. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, something like that.
Okay, great.
Very nice. Excellent.
Fucking awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I love that tune.
Yeah.
I forget the words, so I always like sing different stuff in it, and it's kind of fun. Like figure it out along the way. Yeah, just I'm trying to go Dylan on Dylan.
Yeah.
Like,
That's right. Nobody knows what he's singing anyway, so what the hell?
There
He
it
forgets
is.
the lyrics. Just
Yeah.
How would you sing harmony for him? I mean, if you didn't know what he's going to sing from night to night,
You can only do it on like.
You know, if
Yeah.
you haven't heard the bootleg series of the Rolling Thunder review, outstanding.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard about it. I haven't seen it yet, but
That was the show I
well-
saw. That tour was mind blowing.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other night,
Yeah.
Randy. Yeah, so there's a documentary on Netflix that you should
I gotta
definitely
find
check
it.
out.
Yeah.
that's what I've seen.
I'm a bit of a Dylan obsessive. I got
Jimmy.
like 18. I bought the 18 box set of the first run of the Rolling Thunder, so I have like all those shows, and the harmonies are great. Whether it's Joan Baez or whoever else was there,
Ronnie Blakely. Yeah.
yeah, they were all killing it. It's so
And-
so good. But
So
there's
it was filmed at the time for a movie that was supposed to be Ronaldo y Clara, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And did that ever come out?
I think the movie eventually did come out in some like bootleg form,
Really?
but I don't know if it got an official release. It's like 4.5 hours long or something crazy like
Yeah,
that.
you know,
Wow.
yeah.
You can watch it on YouTube if you can sit through it. I mean,
If I was
Yeah.
it makes
let me
no
sit-
sense.
Let me go take a pee,
Yeah,
get some weed, get some wine. All right, yeah.
Just settle down. Me and my
Yeah.
computer.
That's right.
Eric, really good to see you, and I hope to catch you out live one of these days. I know you got a lot of
Hope
gigs
so.
Yeah,
going
you're
on.
great.
I'm following what you're doing, even though I
Thanks.
haven't seen you yet. But
Thanks, Ed. Yeah, and I try to get on when I can. Thursday nights are usually pretty busy, but I had a free one tonight, so I had to come on and say hello. It's great to see you guys.
I'm glad
Yeah,
you
good
did,
to have
and
you
good
here.
to see you guys. That was show 111. I'll see you guys to show 112.
Ah,
No, next week we're off because I'm playing at the
Okay.
gazebo in Fairfield with.
Oh,
That
the
guy.
outdoor- okay.
I sent you
Hand
the
girls.
I sent you the video.
Yeah, no, I can't download it, unfortunately.
Oh, wait a
I'm
minute.
trying, but
So there's
I'm
trying to get it right
no
here.
time.
Okay.
that guy.
Looking
I
forward
promise
to playing with you next week, and we'll see you soon on GMTV.
Have a great
Sounds
gig.
awesome. Bye, guys.
Later, guys.